This is our COVID update for yesterday, July 13, 2021. Okay, so if I want you to compare two stats only, okay, two stats only. What stats are these? What stats are these?
Sarawak and Selangor.
Sarawak and Selangor.
Yeah, Selangor and Sarawak. Okay, the question over here, which state has higher number of cases if you compare these two?
Selangor.
Selangor.
Okay, so the relationship between these two quantities that do not have the same value, the value is the same. Can you see over here? Okay, it is known as inequality. Inequality. So, do you understand why I'm letting you know about this now?
Yeah.
Yes, right, because we are going to enter the next chapter, which is linear inequality, whereby it involves the value that is not the same. Okay, so we are entering chapter 7. This is your book over here, linear inequality. Okay, what will we learn? We are going to learn these two over here. I'm going to go briefly with you later on. Now, just an introduction. If you look at the people is jogging, right? Marathon, something like that, right? So I'm sure you know this body mass index already. Have you ever calculated your own body mass index? Never?
No.
I thought you did in your PJ already.
Yes.
Okay. You forgot. Do you still remember the
forgot.
formula to calculate it? Yes.
Yes.
It's something to do with your height and your weight, right? So over here, we just go through lah. I don't want you to calculate lah. I need to save the time over here. Okay, body mass index is used to determine ideal body weight. A survey carried out by the World Health Organization in the year 2011 revealed that 44.2% of the population in Malaysia have BMI more than 25. Is this good? It's not good actually, right? Based on the table given, what is your body weight classification and what is your body weight classification? So if you refer to the table on the right here, okay, the table on the right, this is the one. So just now they said more than how many percent? 44.2% have BMI more than 25. So this is 25, okay, which means it is overweight. Okay, so you can check your own BMI. If it is less than 18.5, you are under the underweight category. If you are in between 18.5 to 25 over here, so that's considered normal weight. If it's in between 25 to 30, that's overweight. And if it's greater than or equal to 30, that is obese. Obese means obesity lah, kegemukan lah. Okay, we move on. Now, let's look at the mathematicians involved. Walking through time here. Okay, you can see the mathematician. Handsome or not? Handsome or not? Don't know how to classify it. Thomas Harriot. Okay, he is the one that introduced this symbol. So we are going to use this symbol later on. This symbol is pronounced as greater than, and this one is less than. So this symbol, the symbols greater than and less than, were introduced by an English surveyor, Thomas Harriot, in his book published in the year 1631. That's a very long time ago. The inequality symbol is believed to have originated from the equality symbol, like this. Okay, so later on, besides this, you are going to learn another two symbols, which is greater than or equal to, like this, and less than or equal to, like this. Okay, so let's move on to what you are going to study in this chapter here. Okay, let me show it to you. Okay, so this chapter is chapter 7, linear inequalities. Okay, in this linear inequalities, it is divided into two subtopics. So you can see the first subtopic over here, 7.1 is inequality. This is what you are going to learn. Okay, in 7.1, there are two things that you are going to learn. First, you are going to find out what is inequalities. And then second, you are going to learn about the properties of inequalities that will include 4 types of properties of inequality. The first one is converse property of inequality, transitive property of inequality, additive inverse, and multiplicative inverse, 4 of it. After that, in 7.2, you are going to learn about linear inequalities in one variable. Okay, and then it covers how do you form linear inequality based on the daily life situation and vice versa, and how to solve problem. After that, how to solve simultaneous linear inequality. So it is related to linear equation that you learn. You learn how to solve simultaneous linear equation. So if you know how to solve the simultaneous linear equation, you won't be having any problem to solve simultaneous linear inequality. Okay, now I go back to 7.1. What we are going to learn today is the first part here. What are inequality? So over here, what are we going to learn? First, we are going to learn to compare. Okay, compare the number and then find out which one is greater, which one is less than. After that, you are going to learn to describe. After describe, you are going to learn to form up linear inequality. And then lastly, we are going to learn to draw the number line to represent the linear inequality. Okay, so let's move on first. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay, now I move on. So linear inequality here. So you can see this one are the picture from your book. What are inequality? So if you look at this smartphone, this doesn't really look like a smartphone, right? It looks more like a tablet. So they ask you, this the smartphone A, the price is 1,400, and then B is 1,600. So the question given, which smartphone brand is cheaper? Which one is cheaper?
A.
A is cheaper, right? Because it is 200 ringgit cheaper than B. Okay, and then which one for this one? Okay, we have 50 gram and X gram, whereby this one is 80 gram. Which one has larger mass?
X gram, 50 gram.
Why you say this one is larger, this one is heavier? Because this one is a balance, right? Means when it goes up, it is lighter. It's just like when you are playing the seesaw, the one that is heavier will go to the ground at the bottom. Okay, so meaning X gram plus 50 gram over here, it is greater. Okay, so to indicate the relationship over here, the relationship between two quantities that do not have the same value is known as inequality. It's the same as the number of COVID cases that I asked you to identify just now. So when the value is not the same, okay, and this one also, when the value of two quantity, they don't have the same value, we call it an inequality. Okay, inequality. Dalam bahasa Melayu dipanggil ketaksamaan. Okay? Now, so we know what is do you know, you understand what is inequality already?
Yes.
What is inequality?
Ketaksamaan.
Yeah, ketaksamaan means the two quantity, they don't have the same value. Inequality. Okay, now we move on. So first we are going to learn to compare the value of number. Okay, over here, you look at the first number line first, compare the value of number. So if you look at the first number here, the one that is plotted in red, this is -2. And then this is 3, the one that is plotted in red. When you want to compare in between -2 and 3 over here, so the 2 is lies to the left of -3. Okay, terletak di sebelah kiri 3. 3 ya. So it lies to the left of -3. Sorry, it's +3. I mentioned the wrong thing. It lies to the left of +3 over here. Therefore, the symbol that used to represent it is less than. Okay? When they ask you to describe the first thing, describe. you will say that negative 2 is less than 3 because 2 is to the left of 3. Okay, when they ask you to form the linear inequality, so how do we write? We are going to represent it using symbol. Negative 2, this is less than, using this. Less than 3, just like this. So you are going to learn how to describe and you are going to learn to form. Okay, so we look at the second number line over here, down here. So just now, we have negative 2. We also have negative 2 here. Now, the negative 2 is to the right. Okay? To the right of what? To the right of negative.
Negative 7.
So, when we were asked to describe, we will say this negative 2 because right now we are comparing the two. When we were asked to describe. So, we will say negative 2 because it is to the right. So, it is greater than. You remember this word. We have to use the proper word. Greater than. Greater than what?
Negative 7.
Very good. Okay, negative 2 is greater than negative 7. So when they ask you to form the linear inequality, it will be negative 2 is greater, like this, than negative 7. Okay, so make sure you write down the symbol properly. The first one, less than, like this. The second one, greater than, like this. And notice there are some students, they wrote the symbol like this. This is not correct, and then some of it they write like this. Cannot. You must make sure the angle here, this is bigger. This part is bigger, and then it lies in between. This point lies in between these 2 points. Okay, you can see this point lies in between these 2 points. So you try to practice this, Make sure you don't do this. Okay, try to practice this in the middle. This one, greater. Okay, now we move on to example 1. Let's look at example 1 in your book. This is the one here. Fill in the boxes with the symbol greater than or less than so that it becomes a true statement. So you remember here, you need to make it a true statement. Hence, write an inequality for each statement by using greater than or is less than, is greater than or is less than. So you have 2 tasks to do over here. The first one is to fill the box. After that, you have to write the inequality using is greater than or is less than. So let's look at A. A, negative 5 over 6 is what? Which one shall we choose so that it becomes a true statement? So now, which one is greater over here? Negative 5 over 6 or 4 is greater when you compare? Which one has bigger value?
4.
4 has bigger value, right? Because it is positive on the number line. And this one is negative. For sure, it is a smaller value. So when we want to compare this one, of course, this one smaller, then we are going to use the less than symbol. So we just have to fill in less than like this. Okay? Whereas for the second one, they ask you to write an inequality. So we know this symbol is representing is less than, right? So you just need to write negative 5 over 6 is less than 4. Just like that will do. Okay? Understand, class?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Now, B, let's solve B together. 4 squared is what? 9. So first you need to find out what is the answer for 4 squared here. 4 squared is equal to, very good, it is 16. So when you compare 16 and 9, which one shall you use? Greater than or less than? Very good, because 16 is greater than 9. So it is true already when you insert this symbol like this. So the first one we have done, we need to write the inequality. So to write the inequality, you just follow exactly 4 squared. So the symbol is representing is greater than, right? This one.
Is
so
greater than
4 squared is greater than
9.
Yes, correct. Very good. So that's all for example 1. We carry on. Okay, the next one we need to describe. Okay, to next describe inequality and form algebraic inequality. So they ask you to observe the number line given. Okay, if you look at the number line, compare number 4 with another number that you don't know over here, x. So we can describe the relationship between number 4 and x in an inequality. Okay, that is by using x is greater than 4 because x lies to the right of number 4. Okay, so we can write already when they ask you to describe x is greater than 4. And then when they ask you to form, so you just need to write down x is greater than 4 like this. Okay? Now we look at example again. Try this out together. In the number line below, describe the relationship between x and 8 as an inequality by using is less than. So now they indicate they want you to use less than. They don't want you to use is greater than. So form up algebraic inequality for the relationship. So first thing, you need to describe. Second thing, you need to form. So when you were asked to describe using this, which one is less than which one?
X is less than 8.
Yes, very good. You understand the one to the left is always less than or smaller than. So we use this word, x is less than 8. Sorry, I missed out. X is less than 8. Okay, because x is to the left of 8. So when we were asked to form, so just write down in the form of symbol, x is less than 8. That's all for that. You have any question?
No.
No, okay, then I just carry on. So we have learned how to compare, to describe, to form, and then we need to identify right now so that we can draw number 9. Okay, just now you learned about less than, greater than using this symbol. Less than, greater than. Now we add on another one, the one that I've mentioned earlier, that is greater than or equal to. Okay, in BM it is called lebih besar daripada atau sama dengan. So the symbol is greater than or equal to. You can add like this. Some of the typing in computer, they show this symbol also can, but usually we use this one. Okay, whereas for the second one here, it's less than or equal to. So this is the symbol. It's less than or equal to. Okay, in the computer, some of you can see something like this. So again, we use the first one, but you already can identify that this one is also representing less than or equal to. Okay, how is the symbol used in our daily life? So you have ever seen this or not? The road sign, 110 kilometers per hour. What does it mean? What does it mean when you see this sign? Can your parent drive more than this speed?
No.
No, right. They must drive less than the speed indicated, right? Or exactly the same, right?
Yes.
So we look at the second paragraph here. If V represents the speed in kilometer per hour, then V is equal to 110, meaning that your parent can drive exactly at 110 and V is less than 110. They also can write or can drive less than 110 kilometers per hour. So when we combine this inequality and the equation together, okay, equal and less than, it can be combined using the symbol less than or equal to. Okay, so we called it less than or equal to this one. And it can be written as the V, the speed is less than or equal to 110. Okay, to represent this signboard over here. So we know already from the signboard, the meaning is the speed must be less than or equal to 110. Okay, so now you need to use number line to represent the inequality for V is less than or equal to 110. How to represent it? You just need to draw and make sure you have the value of 110 in your number line. So I show you the number line. This is the number line. You just need to make sure you have 110 in your number line. So both of the end, you must put arrow. Okay, when it is less than or equal to 110, you are going to use a blackened dot over here, and then when it is less than, you just refer to the arrow is moving to the left, so you just follow till the end, follow the same length of the arrow that we have earlier, and draw the arrow on top. After that, you write down the inequality on top of the arrow like this. Are you okay, class?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, huh? Okay,
Yes.
now I have one thing to mention over here. When you draw your number line, later on I want you to draw your number line. This is what you do. When it is less than or greater than, we are going to use a symbol on the number line. For example, when I say x is less than 1, so I must have a 1 over here. This is 0, this is -1, and so on. When we represent using less than, it is not including number 1, right? So we have to use a circle like this, and then the arrow move to the back. That is to represent less than. Okay, when we want to represent greater than, so it will be moving to the right. This is 0 moving to the right like this. Meaning the number 1 doesn't include, so it is a 0 like this, okay, or a circle. When we use x is less than or equal to 1, the number line will be different. Okay, so I'm still using the same thing. 0, 1, -1. So how do I draw less than or equal to 1? Meaning that it can be equal to 1, right? So we are going to darken it. Means number 1 is included and it moves to the left. So after that, we just need to label x is less than or equal to 1 on top. Okay, what about if x is greater than or equal to 1? So you draw your number line. I just roughly let you know right now. This is -1, 0, 1, 2. So greater than or equal to 1. We have to darken it and move it to the right like this and label your inequality on top of the number line. Are you okay?
Yes.
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 Just bear in mind for less than and greater than, the number line, the arrow will start with a circle. When it comes to greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, the circle will be darkened. Like this. Okay, so you can see the circle is darkened. Greater than, less than, these two is not darkened, meaning the number is not included. When it is darkened, meaning the number is included. Okay, now I move on. Okay, the next question is related to this. Okay, meaning your parent can drive less than or equal to 110 kilometers per hour. Okay, there is a question given here. How are we going to use the number line to represent the speed of the vehicle that do not follow the speed limit along the highway? So you have any idea how do we represent the number line on top? It won't be the same already, right? This one are those who follow the speed limit, meaning they drive less than 110 kilometers per hour. What if the people, they don't follow the speed limit? How to draw the number line? Do you have any idea? The arrow will go to which way? Left or right?
Right.
Yes, the arrow will go to the right. So I just follow the original number line given. You see, this is what we have. Make sure it is uniform. Don't do like mine over here. It's not very uniform. Make sure the distance over here is always uniform. Means it's the same. I use the grid line better. You see the grid line? Then you can see it's the same down here. So make sure it is always uniform. So I mark it on the grid line like this. Okay, don't suddenly big, suddenly small. That will be wrong already. Okay, so For example, this is 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. So those who do not follow, meaning that they drive more than 110. So is 110 included or not? Should I darken the circle here? 110 included or not? If they drive
No.
no, right? One more question. If they drive at 110 kilometer per hour, did they follow the rule? Yes or no?
What, ano?
If your parent drive 110 kilometer per hour, exactly, did they follow the rule?
Yes.
Yes, they follow the rule. So, meanings over here, we cannot darken it. If darken, meanings it is included. So, cannot, don't darken, because right now we are going to draw those who did not follow. They don't follow, meanings they ride 101 kilometer per hour and above. So, to the right. Okay, so the speed will be greater than 110. These are the people who do not follow the speed limit. You understand, class?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, So you can see the answer in your book. This is the one. They didn't follow the speed limit, so they go this way. They drive at more than 110, can be 120, 130, 112 also can, as long as it is not 110. Okay, so we move on to the example. That will be the last example for today. Okay, this is the example. It looks very long, but it is simple. Fatima earns overtime pay when she works at least 9 hours a day. At least. You know the meaning of at least?
Kurangnya.
Ya, bagus. Sekurang-kurangnya. Sekurang-kurangnya. So meaning she works more than 9 hours. Okay, now A, you look at A. If T is the number of working hour, so T represent the working hour per day. Describe an inequality based on the situation above by using is greater than or equal to or is less than or equal to. So now, if you look at Fatima's situation, she earned overtime when she worked at least 9 hours. Which one should we use? Greater than or equal to or is less than or equal to?
Greater than or equal to.
Very good, because at least, right? Meaning she worked at least, she already worked 9 hours and above. So it must be is greater than or equal to. So to represent it, because they said T is the number of working hours, right? So T is greater than or equal to how many? Equal to 9.
9.
Okay, that will be the describing, to describe it. Now, B, they ask you to represent the inequality on a number line. So now we need to draw a number line, and hence, after that, you have to form an algebraic inequality. So we have two tasks over here. First, we need to draw a number line. So when you were asked to draw a number line, make sure you insert the number 9, at least. Okay, so for example, this is my number line here. Usually, I will write the 9 in the middle so that it looks nice. Okay, so after 9 is 10, 11, 12. Before 9 is 8, 7, 6. So we know that it's greater than or equal to. Therefore, does it include number 9? If they use this word, it's greater than or equal to. So include 9 or not? Yes, right. So if it is include 9, do I darken the circle here?
Yes.
Yes, I need to darken it because it include number 9. And then I just move the arrow to the right till I reach the last point of the arrow here. And what is the next thing to do? The next thing is to label it up here. This is T is greater than or equal to 9. So actually, when we label this, we already formed an algebraic inequality. So you can just write down the algebraic inequality is t is greater than 9. This is the third one. Okay, number line, this is the number line. Understand, class?
Yes.